Are you ready, Lisa Bay?
Which camera? Oh, that.
Yeah.
I hope people think I look cute too. Today is Saturday, the 21st of May, 2022, year of our Lord. My name is Lisa, and I've been invited to this interview.
Tell us a bit more about your background, Lisa. So, where you grew up, basically from inception to where you are now. Just
A little bit of background.
Yeah.
I was born in Newcastle, a little blip on the map. It's in KZN. And I went to schools there my whole life basically. I only left in matric to pursue further studies at WITS, and at WITS I studied law, which actually wasn't my first choice. But somehow I got into it and I grew to love it, and then I finished at WITS, graduated, and completed my articles of clerkship at one of the law firms in Sandton. How did I get into law? Well, it's a bit of a funny story. I had actually wanted to study a BSc in human genetics, and the real reason I wanted to study that is because of watching detective shows, I guess. Wanting to find the killer, and just I found human genetics interesting from when I took it. Well, it's part of biology in matric, and yeah, and I didn't get into a BSc at WITS. However, I got into the program at the University of the Free State. I was determined to go there, and I think either I blame my mom, but if you ask her the story, she'll tell a different story. We missed the orientation and registration at University of the Free State, and so we looked at the WITS letter, and the date for that hadn't passed yet. So my mom was like, "Well, I guess you're going to register for law." And her and I agreed that I would do law for a year, and then hopefully sort of gather enough points to be able to make to transfer into the BSc program. Yeah, so I was there for the year. I did really well, and I was like, actually, I kind of like this. So I stuck with it. I finished the degree, which is an honors degree, and yeah, did my articles, and that's how I got into law.
So, tell us a bit about why you stuck with it if it wasn't your first choice. What made you finish?
So in my first year, I found two things. I found that I was good at it. I also found that I enjoyed it. And I thought, why not stick it through if I'm good and I enjoy it? So, yeah.
What kept you on track? What kept you focused in terms of finishing the LLB?
So what kept me focused to finish my LLB was, interestingly enough, not really related to the course itself, although I enjoyed it, but it was my group of friends. It was my group of friends. I really found a really special group of people that helped me really to get through it. It was fun because of them. So, what was my dream when I was younger? Interestingly, I know most people can point to a particular thing and say, oh, I've always wanted to be a doctor or something like that. I didn't want to be a particular thing. I just knew that I wanted to be successful at whatever it is that I chose. And then in matric, again, the detective shows, I thought, why not study human genetics? And I thought that's what I wanted at that late stage in life. But obviously, I think I can attribute it to the influence of, I guess, the content that I was consuming at the time. Oh, what was some of my significant challenges in varsity? If I'm being honest, I didn't struggle too much. Again, because I had a really great support system around me in terms of friends that I kept. So I think I think that definitely carried me. But I mean, obviously there's then the difficulty of the course itself. And fortunately, I found myself within a group where people were academically motivated. And so that really kept me going. I just remembered one more struggle about varsity that I don't want to go back to that, is being broke. Oh my goodness. Just looking at like your last 5 noodles or whatever and waiting for payday. And I think, when you don't come from a financially well-off background, it's not like you can just pick up the phone and be like, hey, it's the 18th of the month, can I have more money, So yeah, I don't miss being broke. So what vision did I have for my life as a student? I think at that point I had always been color within the lines person. So naturally for me it was, okay, I'm going to go the law firm route. So I need to focus on securing articles, and then from there work really hard and find a good law firm to work for. And that's exactly what I did.
And would it be fair to say you've achieved that?
Yeah, it would be fair to say that I've achieved that. It's interesting. I'm currently living what I would have envisioned for my life as a student. Yeah. What do I envision for myself now? That is a difficult question, I think, because as you grow, the goalposts of your goals, is that a thing I can say? Mm-hmm. The goalposts of your goals sort of move and they shift depending on circumstances and what you're doing. Is there opportunity to grow within my field and where I am? Absolutely, 100%. Is that the thing that I'm most interested in at the moment? Not certain about that. And I've just naturally been asking myself more questions about, is this really it? I think when you get older, you start to get a sense of settling because things stop moving so much. When you're younger, it's like, okay, high school, varsity, articles, get admitted, get a job, work, get a car, buy the house. And once you've done those things, then it starts to feel a little bit like you're settling. And I don't think I'm a settler. So, yeah, maybe on to the next thing. I like that question. What is that vision, my new vision, starting to look like? Because it's not I wouldn't say it's a complete picture, but one of the things, so when you want to sort of bring an idea to life, you sort of got to put the cornerstones down. And one of the things that I know I want is more time. And I think that's one of the difficulties with being in corporate. I love what I do. I think I'm good at what I do. But I just don't have as much time to myself as I would like, or for other projects or other things that interest me in my life. So definitely want something that will give me a little bit more time. I also want a little bit of autonomy over what goes on in my life and when it happens. And that's not to say I'm lazy. I'm definitely not lazy. I want to work. I want to be successful. But perhaps I'm starting to look at there could be other ways of achieving that. One thing I'm particularly interested in is travel. And I mean, I would love to travel as a job. So yeah, guess I'm looking at that. What is a dream of mine that I have achieved? Like I said, firstly, let me take it back a little bit. In high school, if you asked me that question, I would have said to matriculate with a couple of distinctions, and I did that. So after that, it was on to the next one, which was to get through varsity. I did that, which was then to get admitted, which I did, to find a job. I think for every young person in South Africa, that's quite I wouldn't call it a dream, but it's important to be employed. It's one of those things that comes sort of naturally, but yes, I've done that. So yes, those are a couple of dreams along the way that I would say that I have managed to achieve. So if I had all the money in the world and I didn't have to wake up for a job, what would I be doing? I definitely, one thing that I know that I'd definitely be doing is doing up furniture, if I can put it that way. It's a weird hobby. So I take old furniture, work on it, I repurpose it, and I really enjoy doing that. So that's what I do.
So what's stopping you?
Time. So it goes back to what I was saying initially. It's, I'd use the weekends to do it, but just from being so exhausted, and it doesn't have to be physically exhausted, just mentally exhausted, because obviously I have a job where I'm constantly mentally engaged. On the weekends, it feels like a treat to not think and to just lie down, to watch some TV, or things like that. So it's for that reason that I would like a little bit more time. So then maybe I can repurpose more furniture and figure out maybe other things that I'm interested in. And play more hockey. I would play more hockey. Oh my word. I was playing for a club in 2020 before the lockdown got quite hectic. And I really enjoyed that. Because I got the exercise component, but I also got to play a sport that I really, really enjoy. And ever since the lockdown, I haven't been able to pick it up again. So I just need to shuffle some things and then get on with that. What would I say to people that would look at me and, yes, want to be in my position, achieve perhaps some of what I've achieved? Firstly, I'd say I want to start by saying that I am very blessed to be actually living one of my dreams. Of course, although dreams are always shifting, but it's a big blessing to do something that you wanted to do. But what I would say is there's no substitute for hard work. It doesn't matter what it is that you're doing. I think that's one thing that no one can take away from you is hard work. You got to put in the hours. Everything, whatever space that you find yourself in, it's a competition. There's competition. You'll never just be the best simply because you exist. You need to fight for your place. And I would advise a person looking at me, hoping to achieve some of those things, is to put your head down, to put in the work, and fight for your place. The competition is tough, especially in the law profession. There are many, many excellent law students, lawyers, and you need to distinguish yourself, basically. How have I applied the advice that I just gave in my life? So for me, it comes, I would say, a little bit naturally. I don't know how much people believe in the typing system, but I'm a type 3 personality, which means that, well, let me not say which means that, but one of the character traits of a type 3 is that we are very competitive. So competition comes naturally. It comes naturally to me to want to be the best at what I'm doing at that point in time. And so I recognize and I look to people that are perhaps doing something that I'd like to be doing in, say, 2 years' time in my current career, and saying, how do I compare to them, and would I be able to get there one day? And the formula that I've always used has never let me down. And so because of that, I've had such a high success rate of simply putting my head down, searching for opportunities, and doing the work. I trust that it won't fail me going forward. What do I like about Hypoglosso? So actually, so it may sound like you hear the name and you're like, what is this about? But I actually really like the explanation behind what it means, and I believe it's a medical, a physiological part in the body that controls speech or the tongue, and it's the direct Spanish translation, if I'm not mistaken. And I just think that's amazing, that not only should you speak of your dreams, but you need to work towards realizing them. And I really like that, because I think a lot of us, what's holding us back is that we have all these wonderful ideas in our mind and we speak of them, but we need to execute.